So, what we are talking about at this build, there was one big theme that happened at build, and that is the era of Copilot, the era of AI, if you want, but specifically Copilot. This new time where we move into a way of using computers where we always have a co-pilot at our side, a piece of AI that doesn't take over, but a piece of AI that guides us through using our applications. And we've now heard a lot about this. If you've watched some of my prior presentations, you are fairly familiar with what this is. But I think we can't overstate the importance in paradigm shift for that. And that takes hearing it a number of times, that takes playing with it, that takes using it, that takes developing with it. But the key part here is that we are moving from a world that we've known for 50 years in software development, which is a world where we've created certain features and then users use those very specific features. Those specific features had specific outcomes that were very well defined, and we could then subsequently use one of those features after another to achieve our ultimate goal, such as sending an email, writing a Word document, using our business application, using our phone to do whatever. All those different generations of software for the last 50 years, so probably, not a lot of us have a career that goes back further than that, I would imagine. So everything that we've seen in our careers was variations of that. Now, of course, it varied considerably back from mainframe days to DOS to early versions of Windows to more advanced graphical user interfaces to web to mobile to touch, all of that. But at the end of the day, they all shared this fundamental characteristic of it being software that's a set of features that users can then learn how to use and then use step by step to achieve a goal. And that has just completely changed to something that's co-pilot driven, where we essentially state what the goal is, and a system that is at least somewhat intelligent then goes and figures out how to do that. It interprets what we want. It can respond and converse intelligently or coherently at the very least. It knows the intent that we have. It knows the things that we are trying to drive, and it knows how to achieve that result. So there's a number of steps in there. Some of those steps involve technologies such as OpenAI's ChatGPT type of large language model type of technology, but there's really a little bit more to it, and we'll talk about that throughout this presentation today. But this shift from this very well-defined set of features into a world that's a lot more fuzzy, where we just state our intent and then we'll get a result, and the result's not as well-defined as pressing a button to save a record or update a record or something like that. But at the same time, these responses we're going to get and these results that are in key characteristic more like interacting with a human, where you don't necessarily get the same response every time, or you never get the same response when you ask the same question twice, but it's still a very, very useful response and a much more useful and productive response than we had in the past. So this change in paradigm is really something that none of us have ever seen in our careers, I would say. And you could feel the excitement around that at Build. At Build, a lot of people saw a lot of this stuff for the first time, saw it in action, saw how well it works in different applications and different parts of Microsoft software that is now being put out. But it goes beyond that, as we'll see. It's not just for Microsoft applications. It's a new platform. It's a new way of doing things that all of us will be doing in the future. It's just like at some point we moved from DOS to Windows and everything became about graphical user interfaces. Well, this is the same sort of leap. It's actually probably bigger and it's coming faster, where all of us will be living in this world going forward and will be building applications for that. And the good news is it fits very, very well into the old applications. It's not one of those moves like DOS to Windows where you throw out the old stuff and now you're just going to all the new stuff. Instead, you add this to your existing software. Your current investment is not out the window, but you just add to it and you make people drastically more productive.